Hi Vibha, how are you?
Hi, ma'am. I'm fine, ma'am. And how are you?
I'm good too, thank you. It's been quite a while since we met last. Nice to see you again. All right. Now, firstly, welcome to the Penguin Reading Program. And today's book, as you well know, is David Copperfield. Have you read this book before, Vibha?
No, ma'am. I even not heard about it.
Okay. All right. Now, firstly, do I say I am not heard about it or I have not heard about it? Which is correct?
I have not.
Lovely. So we'll start off with a short video. Okay. I want you to tell me if you recognize this actor firstly. All right. Now, firstly, we have a new person as well. Hi, Sunil. How are you?
I am fine. And what about you, ma'am?
I'm good too. Thank you for asking. So,
Yeah,
firstly,
ma'am.
at the bottom left side of your screen, are you able to see a hand shaped button?
Okay, ma'am.
Are you able to see it? Okay, wonderful. I see you've used it.
Yeah,
And
ma'am.
at
I
the
have one
top,
question, ma'am.
yes. And at the top right side of your screen, can you see a chat box icon? Can you both see the chat icon on the top right side of your screen? Yes or no? Vidha and Sunil. Okay, lovely. I see that you've used it. Thank you. So feel free to communicate by using your raise hand button or by using the chat box. So as I was saying to Vidha, we are going to get started with a short video first, okay? I want you to tell me if you recognize the actor that you see in this video, all right? 1 minute, everyone. Okay. Can you see this video screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. And 1 minute. Are you were you both able to hear the clapping?
Yes, ma'am.
Sunil, were you able to?
Yeah, ma'am. But I am not proper watching, ma'am. Please repeat it,
That's
ma'am.
up to you, Sunil, but we are going to watch this video. All right. Okay.
Whether I turn out to be the hero of my own story, or whether that station will be held by anybody else, these moments must show. My boyhood days seem now like a scarcely believable fiction.
London is full of wonders and wickedness, and it's ours, David, to go wherever we choose. Oh, no, not down there. Creditors make that road impossible. 2 tailors and a most unreasonable muffin man. Copperfield!
Your mama is ill. How ill is she? Very ill.
Very ill.
Very ill.
Very ill?
Dangerously ill.
She's dead.
We're very sorry.
I'm David Copperfield. I'm your nephew. You're the only family I have.
What do we do with him?
If I were you, I'd wash him.
Oh, donkeys! This is a donkey-free zone! Move it!
You're a remarkable woman. Very kind.
You had nothing, then you had something, and now you got nothing again. So stands to right you'll have something again.
You were staring. Is there something wrong with me?
No, I apologize for my rudeness.
Think nothing of it, sir.
He speaks very well.
It was actually me.
Oh, Romeo, do some work.
Good morning! You know what I want?
A straight jacket, a husband.
Feels like a party.
Ha-ha.
All right. Does either of you recognize the actor who you just saw on screen? Please raise your hand if yes. Yes, Vibha. Who is that?
Ma'am, was he only David Copperfield?
Well, that's the character that he plays, but do you recognize this actor as in the person you saw in the on the trailer?
No, ma'am.
Sunil also has not raised his hand, but no worries. So the person that you saw is Dev Patel. Have you heard of this movie called Slumdog Millionaire?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so it's quite a popular movie, and he was the actor in that. Okay, so he's quite a popular actor as well, and it looked like a fun trailer. Did you enjoy watching that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and based on that video, what do you think this book might be about?
Ma'am, I think this might be about old period of time, means when there was not means a lot of technology and there were horses.
Yes, very nice. And horses, were they used for transport as well?
Yes, ma'am.
That's very nice. All right. So I have a few questions now. Let's see if we're able to answer them. Okay. If you're able to guess, you can please raise your hand. And if you want a clue, you can also raise your hand and ask for one. Okay. So, firstly, does anyone know who wrote the book David Copperfield? Please raise your hand if yes. Actually, since it's just the three of us for now, I shall leave you both unmuted. Archana, welcome to the webinar.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you aware of who's written this book?
Ma'am, he's a famous author. It's not striking. It's not. It is on the tip of my tongue, but I'm not getting, ma'am. It starts with the Charles.
Yes, wonderful. Charles, what? Charles?
Dickens. Dickens, something. Yeah.
Charles Dickens. Wonderful. Now, what about the time period in which this is set? Does either of you have a guess? So as Vibha has so wonderfully put, she said that it was in an older time period than now, where there was not too much technology in usage. And we also had
ancient, ma'am.
Transport. Sorry?
Historical time period means ancient period, where there is,
not necessarily ancient. Anything before now is history. Yes, yeah. But which time period do you think this was in? When did we used to use horses as transport?
Pardon, ma'am?
When did we, as in all of us as people, when did we used to use horses as transport?
Oh, in the kingdom, then there is a ruler.
Yeah, I'm asking which year. Do you remember any guesses at all?
1800s.
Wonderful, absolutely. It was in the 1800s, which means in the mid 19th century. So this book actually came out between 1849 and 1850. Okay, so wonderful. You were absolutely right. So we just discussed Vibha's guess about the third question. And do you know what Dickens is most known for?
Ma'am, for writing books.
Well, yes, indeed. But what about his books and what about his writing makes him so special? We all still read him, right? He wrote it 2 centuries ago. We still read his book. Why is that?
He writes novels.
Mm-hmm. And what is special about his novels? What does he generally write about?
He generally wrote about children and behavior.
He is it only about children, or can we also as adults relate to his stories?
Adults relate to the story.
It goes both ways, right? It is a children's classic as well, as most of us read it when we're quite young. But I think that there is a lot of there's a lot that we can relate to with his characters as well. Okay, thank you for all of your answers. Wonderfully done. Has anyone read anything? Sorry?
Genre.
Yes, wonderful. I'll give you a clue, which was actually going to be my next question. I'll give you a clue. See if you're able to guess this word. Okay. Each blank that you see here is one missing letter. Do you know this word?
Racism.
Very close actually, but then racism would be RA, right? You see there's a blank in the middle.
Okay.
And I don't believe racism is a genre of literature. It is a problem.
And roaming?
Sorry?
Roaming?
It cannot be roaming, right? Because the last letter would be G. But the last letter here is? Should I give you all the answer for this one?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes. So in Dickens' novels, you will see a lot of something called realism. Has any of us heard this term before?
It's about reality.
Yes, very good. Things that us everyday people can relate to, right? The stuff that we might have experienced or may experience, right? He writes such kinds of stories, okay? So usually his work largely falls under literary realism. Okay. Has anyone read anything by him before?
No, ma'am.
So today we shall learn a few words that we can find in this particular. I hope that you'll pick it up after this. Okay. Now, as you can see, I've left all of you unmuted for now. This is because I can hear silence in all of your backgrounds, or actually I can hear no noises in your backgrounds. So what we're going to do is start off with a short activity. Okay, so on the next page, I will show you a list of words or terms. Okay, and then I will give you clues. I want you to please listen to each of these clues and match it with one of the words or terms that we see on the screen. Are we ready to begin?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you see these terms on the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, let's start with a trial run. Which one of these words means, which one of these words refers to my ability to be on time almost every time? That is?
Punctuality.
Yes. So much like this, you will please guess based on the clues given. Shall we continue? Are we clear with the activity?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Great, let's continue. Now, the act of putting off an activity or task for a later time is?
Procrastination. Procrastination.
Yes, very good job. Something that I could not have anticipated is?
Unexpected.
Yes, very nice. Thanks, Archana. So I'd love for you to take a short break and let's give other people also a chance to guess, but wonderful job with your answers. Okay, let's continue. What is it called when when my family and I do not possess the financial means to live comfortably? Then we live in?
Poverty.
Poverty.
Very good job. Thank you. A place where there are a lot of nests for a particular species of crows that live in Europe is called a?
Rookery.
Yes, very good. I'm glad that you were able to guess from context. Wonderful. Okay, let's continue. This is a huge or vast difference between two or more things. And there is a?
Modest.
Sorry?
Modest.
Disparity.
Disparate.
Disparity. Repeat, please.
Disparity.
Yes, very good job. Thank you. A person who hoards money and resources and refuses to spend portions of it without a really good reason.
Miser.
Very nice. Okay. And what about something of moderate proportions? That is?
Modest. Modest.
Thank you for all of your answers and your participation. Very well done. Do you have questions about the meanings of any of these words?
What is the meaning of procrastination?
Okay. Did someone ask the meaning of procrastination? Is that what I heard? Yeah, I'm not sure who that was, but if you asked a question, you can also use the chat box. Vibha, was it you?
Yes, ma'am.
Can someone help Vibha with the meaning of this word? What is procrastination?
Ma'am, procrastination means to avoid the work for for later time, later on.
Do I avoid it later or do I avoid it now?
Now we are avoiding.
Now we will avoid it, ma'am. Now we will be avoided.
Now we will avoid it or currently we avoid it? Which would be correct?
Currently we avoid, ma'am, and we plan to do it in future.
Yes, very good. Vibha, is this helpful to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Postponing of our works to do that
Perfectly
later.
put. Yes, thank you, Archana. Okay. Any other questions, anybody?
Ma'am, meaning of disparity?
Disparity.
Disparity.
Not pa, it's pe. Disparity.
Disparity.
Pe. Pa, pe. Can you hear the difference?
Yes, ma'am. Disparity.
Excellent. One last time.
Disparity.
Very good job. Yes. Sunil, did you also have a question?
Yeah, ma'am. I have a last one question, ma'am. And what is the meaning of rookery?
Rookery. So actually, this is sort of like, so there is a particular species of crows that lives in Europe. I think in Central Europe. So what they do is make these really large nests in very tall trees, quite high, and they make it out of sticks and things. So a rookery is usually a place where such nests, sort of, there's groups of them. That's a rookery.
Okay.
It's old-timey English. We won't use it very commonly, but it is still applicable to when you have hordes of the same crow.
It means the ma'am. I think rookery is the ma'am very largest. It is right, ma'am.
Would it be very largest or the largest?
Yeah, it means the largest, ma'am.
Yes, I don't know about what the largest rookery is, but that's what a rookery means. Okay, are you clear now?
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
All right, let's continue, everyone. Great job with all of your answers. Now, we're going to look at some Dickensian words. So if you think about older authors that might come to mind, people like Shakespeare, Dickens, right? All of these people have unique vocabulary, and sometimes they make up their own words, and it becomes a part of how we use the English language as well. So we are going to see one term that applies to his work and a few other words that he has created. And on the right side of the screen, you will see meanings for the same. So our job is to match the term from the box on the left with its correct meaning from the box on the right. Each of us will do any one. Are we ready?
Yes. Okay.
Okay. Can you see it on the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Can anyone start us off with any one of these? You will please read out the term and the correct meaning.
Yes, ma'am.
One second, everybody. Yes, Archana, you can start us off.
Literary realist.
Everyone else, please wait a minute or hang on. Maybe I'll come right back to you all. 1 minute, please. Right. Yes, Archana.
Yes, ma'am. Literary realism. It is a literary movement that represents reality by portraying mundane, everyday experiences.
Thank you. Good job. And
mundane means a very
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I think the second one, Aksham, is a intentioned but
You have one more guess.
an old-fashioned word for horrible and frightening.
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 Yes, much better. All right, great job. Thank you. And Vanati?
Yes, ma'am. Singular, leaning towards slang.
Very good job. Slangular.
Slangular.
Louder, once more, please.
Slangular.
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 Good job. So the last R is silent and we do not read that sound. Okay. And the last one, anybody? Yes, Archana?
Yes, ma'am. Mark plot. A well-intentioned but a meddlesome person who unwittingly spoils others' plans.
Yes. Meddlesome.
Meddlesome.
Not meddle. There's no stress on that sound. It is just meddlesome.
Meddlesome.
Much better. Yes, thank you. I'm just putting your hands down for a minute. Do you have questions about the meanings of any of these words? Okay. Does any of you see yourself using any of these words? Yes, Archana, what's your question?
Mark plot means someone who who wants who doesn't want others to come up, or he spoils the plans.
So the second half of what you said is correct, but it's not intentional. You see, the first bit of it says a well-intentioned but meddlesome, which means, are my intentions good or bad?
It is meddlesome means it is good, I think.
1 second. Well-intentioned. Are my intentions good or bad when I say this?
Good intention. Well-intention is good intention.
Yes. So, but then what happens to the result? Is it good or bad?
This spoils others. Yeah, it's bad. Without his knowledge, he's doing harm to others.
Yes. Is it clear now?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yes, Vibha, what is your question?
Ma'am, what is the meaning of slangular?
Leaning towards slang just means that something that is not close to how we speak formally. Like, you know how sometimes instead of calling your friend, you might say bro, right? This is common slang that we use. So such a word is slangular. It leans towards slang.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. Kranti?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, the first, literary realism.
So we'll discuss that shortly. I do have some points to go over with that. After that, if you have questions, you can let me know.
Sure, ma'am.
Asha, did you also have another question?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, what is the pronunciation? Is unwittingly.
Unwittingly.
And portraying. Unwittingly. Portraying. Portraying. So first one, ma'am. Literary realism. Realism.
Realism.
Realism. Okay. And last one, ma'am. Marfloat.
Marplot.
Marfloat. Marfloat.
Yes.
Float. Marfloat. Okay.
All right. Okay. So now, as Kranti asked, and anyway, I did want to discuss this briefly. So realism, as one of us said this earlier, it may have been Archana, but you know, we're talking about everyday activities, right? So mundane just means something that's not particularly important per se, right? For example, I wake up and I brush my teeth. It is not a matter of significance. It's a mundane activity that I do regularly, right? But realism is a genre of literature that usually chooses to talk about such parts of our lives, right? The struggles that we actually experience as people. So basically, every like there have been so many art movements and literary movements, right? So this is the one that came right after the romanticist movement. Now romanticists usually, as the name suggests, were very were narratives or stories that were somewhat disconnected from what reality is like, right? So a realism as a movement was like a sharp contrast to that. Usually, if you observe in terms of art movements, literary movements, and all of these things, there's a contrast in each of the ones that comes after, almost as though each one is in protest of the previous one, right? So try to look up some history in this regard. I'm sure that it will be interesting. Maybe with the book as well, if you all choose to read it, it will start making a little more sense. All right. Now, before we move to the final practice bit of our lesson, do you have any questions about anything that we have discussed in class today? Okay. So now please listen carefully to the instructions for the next activity. I will ask you about them before we start. Okay. So on the next page, I'm going to show you two different quotes. Okay. You will choose any one of them and you will have the chance to speak for 45 seconds. Okay. And I want you to tell me what you think of this quote. So essentially just your opinion on what we are about to see. Okay. Now, before we begin, does anybody remember how many quotes we are going to see on the next page? Was it 2 or 4? Yes, Vibha?
2.
And how many will we answer for? 1 or both?
We will answer for 1 and we have time for 45 seconds.
Thank you. All right, here are the pictures. Kranti, can you read the first quote only?
Yes, ma'am. My advice is never do tomorrow what you can do today. Procrastination is the thief of time.
Is the thief of time.
The thief of time.
Very good job. Thank you. And Asha, can you read the second one?
Yes, ma'am. The most important thing in life is to stop saying I wish and start saying I will consider nothing impossible. Then treat possibilities or probabilities. Charlotte Dickens.
As probabilities.
As probabilities.
Always read slowly. Don't rush. You can be mindful of it. Okay, good job. Now, before we get started, is there anyone who has questions about the activity? That is, if you're not clear about what we're doing, please put your hand up. Okay, then let's get started in that case. Would anybody like to begin? Okay. Yeah. So I'll be starting a timer for you. So when you hear me say stop, please do so. All right, Archana?
Yes, ma'am.
Please go ahead.
Yeah. This is an advice given by Charles Dickens that we should not postpone our works for tomorrow or delay our works, because procrastination may not be, we cannot achieve the task if we procrastinate the things. So in my opinion, we can avoid procrastination by time management and organizing the things, and make a to-do list and do the thing right now. We cannot delay it further, so that we can feel satisfaction when we achieve our tasks. Want to continue?
Sorry.
And delaying makes us worry, give stress and
Time's up.
anxiety.
Time's up, Archana. Thank you.
I
Wonderfully done.
stopped in the middles. I thought it's over.
Yes, all good. Wonderfully done. There was a lot of detail in your answer, so really good job. We'll go over a few grammar notes after we hear a couple of other people speak as well. Okay, so stick around even after you've finished your answer. Thank you and good job. Vibha, you ready?
Yes, ma'am. I want to choose second one, and I just know the meaning. Till one, I will.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I think that means we have to stop saying I wish and start saying I will, because whenever we say I wish, so we are not confirm about that we have to do in our future this or this, because we are just wishing this. And whenever we say I will, so we are confirmed about any particular thing that we have to do. And like if I will say I will become a doctor, so that means I have to become a doctor in my future.
Are you okay? Thank you, Vibha. Good job. Didn't realize you had finished your answer. Thank you. Wonderfully done. Kranti, are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Start, please.
Ma'am, in second quote, I will say that if you start saying I will, it means that you are much more intended towards your job completion.
Kranti, so sorry for interrupting. Can you please be louder and clearer?
Yes, ma'am. Now, ma'am?
Yes, it's better.
Okay. So, ma'am, I was saying that when we start saying I will, it means that we are more intended towards our job completion, and we will be, trying wholeheartedly. And that attitude makes us more eligible towards, towards our objective or towards our goal. So it is better to say I will rather than to say I wish. Because when we say I will, it means that we are ready for the fight or for the flight.
Okay,
so
very nice.
I
Thank you,
absolutely.
Kranti. Great job. Thank you. Okay, thank you for all of your answers, everyone. Beautifully done. Now we'll go over a few notes together. So these are all from your answers, and we are going to correct these sentences. Okay, so I'll give you a minute to read them to yourselves first, and then we'll discuss what changes we can make. Okay, now here are the sentences. Vibha, can you see these on the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you all have 1 minute. As I said, please read through these and think about what grammatical changes we can make. Feel free to leave your guesses on the chat box as well. Also, so sorry for continuing, but as you can see, all of the I's are lowercase, even when it is the subject I. This is because I'm having a bit of trouble with my keyboard. So you won't see any commas or uppercase I's. So if at all you have any questions with regards to either of these things, you can please let me know. Do you have any guesses for what changes we might make? Yes, Archana?
The first line I didn't get. We should not postpone our works for tomorrow. Is there any? I didn't get it.
I can't hear you clearly, Archana. Can you please check your audio and I'll be right back, okay? All of you, please check your audio. Try to do this before classes as well. Okay, I'll come right back to you. Thanks, Archana. Yes, Asha?
Yes, ma'am. First one is we should not postpone our works. Only work for tomorrow.
Very good. Because works can only be used when it is a verb conjugation. But when it is a noun, I only say work. We should not postpone our work for tomorrow. Is that how we say it? We should not postpone our work Okay, for the first word here, I'll give you a clue. I'm going dash the market. What word is missing there?
Go to market.
Do. Very good. And then
Walk.
What is a one-letter article?
Sorry, you.
Not a. Yes. What is the opposite of earlier?
Later.
Very good. So Vibha has sent in the answer as well. It is to a later date. Or
later.
We should not
Date and
postpone
time.
our work to a later date or time, depending on whatever you wish to convey. Okay. Thank you for your guesses. Good job. Yes, Kranti. Okay, I'm not able to hear you. Please use the chat box for now. Vibha?
Ma'am, I think in the third line, whenever we say I wish, so we are not confirmed about that. I think whenever we say.
No. Here we say whenever we say. That's correct. Try another change, please.
So we are not confirmed about that.
Can you rephrase this sentence? Say it in a different way altogether.
Ma'am, I don't know.
No worries. Let's get you some help. Yes, Asha.
Yes, ma'am. So is delete.
Very good.
I wish we are not confirmed.
Whenever we say I wish, there has to be a comma here, okay? Whenever we say I wish, comma, we are not confirm about that. We'll rephrase this, okay? Whenever we say I wish, we One second. I'll give you clues. I'll give you clues. No worries. Okay. The first word, this word that is possibility. Like you're not sure if something will happen. So then what word do I use?
We must.
May.
We must.
So,
we may or must.
If I say must, am I not sure?
Okay. We may.
Yes. Okay. We may. And then what is a conjunction I use when I'm trying to give options?
May not.
Or, very good.
Or, may or.
We may or?
May not.
May not.
May or may not. What is a verb, an auxiliary verb that I use for actions?
Walk.
No, that's a 4-letter word. Look at the number of blanks here.
I wish we may or may not. Sure.
Can I give you the answer for this one?
Yes, ma'am.
Whenever we say I wish, we may or may not do. Sorry, I'm not able to type out the I, so do it. Okay. We can also say we may or may not do what we set out to do. It. You can add your details as you go forward. Okay?
Do it, ma'am. It.
Yeah, I'm not able to add the I. The keyboard is not working. Okay, thanks everyone for your guesses. Great job. I'll just give you the answers for the rest of these, and you can let me know if you have any questions at all. Okay. Now, we can avoid procrastination by managing our time better or by employing time management strategies or something like that. Okay. You can say by managing our time or days efficiently. Okay, and so that we can be happy. Can anyone tell me what is a conjunction I can use here? Happy and I accidentally gave you the answer. What did I just say?
And
then look at the next word. Satisfaction. Is this a noun or an adjective?
It's a feeling, so it's an adjective.
Satisfaction, is it an adjective? What does it describe?
More satisfied.
Satisfied, very good. And as Vibha said, satisfaction is a noun.
Yes.
Okay, good job. We can be happy and satisfied when we complete our tasks. Good job. And we are more intended to do our job completion. Now, whenever I say the word more, this is always used only in relation to another thing. More is a comparative word. So if I use this, then I also have to have another object. More than what? Right? So this does not apply here. We can say we may be very committed to complete our tasks, we can say. A job may not necessarily be about tasks, right? It can be any number of things. Okay. Does anyone have questions about any of these sentences? Please put your hand up if yes. Yes, Archana.
Ma'am, while we are discussing, while I try to say something, I would not, my problem is that I won't find any where we have to keep a noun and adjective. What is the difference?
You have to practice. You will figure it out, but you have to practice a lot.
Because until you said that satisfaction is a noun, I don't know really that. I thought it's a feeling. Satisfaction is a feeling, so we cannot put
which
it
is also a noun. A feeling is a noun.
Feeling is a noun.
Okay. Yes. So actually, what I would advise you to do is think about everything that you learn as an idea. Like, it's not just grammar, right? There's a lot of logic to what we do. When I say that something is a noun, what is a noun after all? Name, place, animal, thing, right? Yeah. Feeling can be under the category of things, right? Not that it's a tangible thing, but do you know what I'm saying? Have I confused you? Okay, so I'm saying think about what you are learning. There's a lot of rhythm, logic, and explanations to everything. Don't be fixated on the idea of learning it as a language. Understand what you are learning. It will make a lot more sense. If you just sort of memorize rules or go over these things, it may or may not stick with you. So think about, why did I make this change here? Right? And that will help you start getting a little more efficient at this.
And when you changed it to satisfied, it became adjective.
Yes. Right. So all of these forms and changes are things that you will start thinking about when you start applying logic to what you're learning. And I know that is challenging and it can be difficult at first, but if you start looking for these little clues everywhere, I guarantee it gets a lot easier.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome. All right, everyone. Now, firstly, I'm just going to unmute everybody for a bit. How did you find this lesson, everyone? Did you enjoy learning a little bit about a book that we may be able to read soon?
Ma'am, grammar part is really helpful.
I'm glad.
Helpful for us.
So, all right. So this is basically a new program that we have, which is our Penguin reading program. And basically in this particular program, at the beginning of each week, you will receive a book's title, as I'm sure you would have this week as well. So what we do is you can read the book within that time, and you will have a webinar, something like this, and a lesson where we can discuss the book. So had you all read the book, maybe we could have had a longer discussion about what the book is like, and all of these things. So think about starting to read the books before the lesson so we can have more detailed discussions out. Okay, and you can look up this program on the app. Is anyone thinking of subscribing to this?
Ma'am?
Yes, Vibha, are you?
Yes, ma'am. From last few days, I am trying to subscribe Penguin Readers, but I can't do that because whenever I'm going to paying screen, so when I'm trying to pay for it, so I'm just coming to my home screen.
Okay, so I'll make a note of this as well, Vibha. If you could please also leave a message for the people that you can text on the helpline number. Do you remember the helpline number?
Yes, ma'am, I have that, but whenever my problem is this, so they ask me for another problem.
Okay, I'll do my best to look into this. Okay, Vibha?
Okay, ma'am.
I shall let them know. Is anyone else thinking about getting this? And do you have any questions? Is there anything I can assist you with?
Already I subscribed 150 Penguin Readers, ma'am.
Sorry, what did you say?
Already I subscribed 150 Penguin Reader for 1 month.
So that's a different thing. Like that's the readers club. That's for you to read books. This is when we can discuss books, right? And that you can have 10 or 20 books in a month, depending on the plan that you take, right? This is a few books in a month, and each week we discuss one. It's a different program altogether. Okay. Any other questions, anyone?
Ma'am, when is the next class in gold and in hard level?
I don't know when my next class is. I'm off for the next couple of days, but my schedule does change quite often, so I will see you whenever possible. Okay, Vibha?
And I always miss you in hard level.
Oh, that's so sweet of you to say, Vibha. It's lovely to see you. It has been ages. It's nice to see you. All right. Is there anything else I can help you all with? Silence is not an answer. Yes or no?
No, ma'am.
So then in that case, we're done with this lesson and you are all free to leave. If you have anything that I can help you with, you can stay and ask, but otherwise you can carry on. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. Stay safe, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you soon. Bye, everyone.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye, ma'am.
Take care.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you,
Very
ma'am.
welcome. Take care. Kranti, is there something I can help you with? Okay, not sure if you are able to hear me, but if you need any assistance, you can also use the chat box. It's all right if I can't hear you, but if you need help, you can send us a message as well. Have a great rest of your evening. See you. Bye-bye.